Hello you guys, welcome to a new video. This one's one that was highly requested when I mentioned I wanted to do it, and from the title, which I don't know exactly what it's going to be, but I assume it's very obvious what this is going to be about. So this is about how I have an income that is pretty much completely working from home, and I don't do like a 9 to 5. I don't work for just one person, I predominantly work for myself, so it's involving all of those things. But firstly, and I can't believe I'm saying this, I'm so happy and excited to say this, but this YouTube video is sponsored by Design Space. Design is a Kiwi ran business that is currently offering a social media management pack. This does not mean that they are going to run your socials for you. However, it is a monthly pack that will give you content, ideas, etc. Things for you to use in this pack. At the moment, it runs for about $30. I would get on this immediately because that price is going to go up the second it can. It's completely affordable and very well done, and something that I personally would use in my jobs that I'm going to speak about in this video. For more information on Design Space, please look down below in the description. I'll put an entire little bit about them, some links, and thank you so much Design Space for sponsoring this video. So to start off, I'm going to start with, I would say, my biggest kind of income stream. And I know that this is not going to be for everyone. I know that each individual thing is very specific, so it's not going to be for everyone, so just keep that in mind. But my initial way of creating money at the moment is my content creation. Since January, I've been focused on doing paid partnerships, sponsorships, collaborations, etc. And they've been doing really well, and it's been a great income. And I've said this before, but in my not my last video before that, I think my video before that, I can't remember, I mentioned how brands have the money to pay influencers and they just don't want to. So being able to like have that knowledge and be in this industry and get paid well has been amazing, and I don't take it for granted. I'm very lucky, and it's, as someone with, I have 30k across all socials, and that's growing, but as someone who just has over 12k on Instagram, and like that number has not grown for ages because I was so stagnant for years with my posting, like I just didn't know what I was doing, and now I'm finally on top of that, it's growing again, but I just have over 10k. And there are people, I know for a fact, I know it because I've spoken to so many people, there are people with under 10k, even at like 1k followers, who are getting brand deals, paid brand deals. Do I think it's less likely you'll get brand deals at like 1k? Yes, I think you'll more so get collabs, which is like free gifting and you post about it. But do I think that it's still possible? Yes, it is. They'll just pay you less, which makes sense because you can only offer them so much. The more the followers grow, the more the engagement grows, the more money you can get for that. So that has been my number one kind of income. But I think a lot of people are going to wonder how I get those brands. Yes, some do reach out to me. I've had like, I would say 30% reach out to me, and the other 70% I reach out to them. I'm very proactive in reaching out to brands. If I see a brand that I like or that I use, or that I know like I align with, like our content aligns, I'm immediately emailing them. There's no hesitation. It's part of my daily like schedule to do that. And because I'm so proactive, and because I communicate with so many people, because I'm so out there in the community and active with these brands, and I form long-term relationships with these brands, not just short-term, it kind of, one thing leads to another. The more brand partnerships you do, the more reliable you become to even more brands, and they're more likely to spend on you if you've had a successful post with a brand that they know or follow or are like them. So I just highly recommend that. I wouldn't say it's like, the thing about it is, although it brings in the most money, that money can fluctuate because you're not doing the same partnerships every time, and you might get 5 partnerships in 1 week and you might get 5 partnerships in 1 month. So it's up and down, but it is the biggest source of income for me, but it's not the most stable. The second thing that I do is freelancing, and the thing about freelancing is it's such a wide spectrum, and I think it's mostly beneficial for creative people. Unfortunately, I feel like it's very hard to go into a freelancing space or work from home or for yourself if you aren't like super either business savvy or super creative. And like, if you're academic, it's very hard to, in my opinion, do either of those things. Or like business more likely, but like the whole creative thing is like the biggest driver in these jobs I'm talking about. So it's very hard, and I think like obviously this is only going to pertain to a certain amount of people, if that makes sense. So again, keep that in consideration. However, when I say freelancing, I don't say specific freelancing as something. When someone asks me if I do freelancing, I just say yes, freelancing, point blank, period, because I have many skills and I freelance as many other things. If you are creative, like if you're like me, where you're creative and you can do several things, freelance is all of them. Don't limit yourself. Freelance is every single one of those skills you can. So for example, I am a freelance social media manager at a music label, and that income is monthly, so it's a stable income. It's not a 9 to 5, it's when I can work, it's ad hoc, which means whenever I can. So there's no like certain amount of hours, but it is a monthly pay and I deliver. I'm also a songwriter for a musician. Again, that is a monthly pay when he writes. That's again dependent though on when he does write. He writes a lot, so it's great, but if there's a period of time where he doesn't write, then I don't get paid. However, I do get royalties from his music that I have a credit on, so that's still a pay, and he has good streams, so it's still an income. I have freelance modeled for so many people, from jewelry brands, and I'm currently in the talks with a very big name, which I'm like very excited about if that goes through, hopefully. But that in itself, like, I do so many different things. I've freelance written for brands. There's a magazine coming out later this summer, and I've written a piece for them. That I do everything you can possibly think about, even proofreading or some basic graphic design, because I have experience in these things. I have art qualifications, I have English qualifications, I have proven experience in writing, in social media, in art, etc. And so because I have those, oh, and I also have music qualifications, hence the songwriting. But all of these jobs, some of them are one-off and some of them are continuous. They remain under freelancing, but they're not 9 to 5s. But they are continuous streams of income. They are monthly. They are not full-time jobs, but they are full-time in the sense of, unless you quit, that is your job. But the time that you put into it is up to you, which is the great thing about freelancing. I highly recommend freelancing. It takes very little work depending on what you're doing, and by that I mean more so time. Like, I think influencing takes a lot more time because you have to do the communication, you have to wait for things to ship, you have to get the content ready, you have to edit, you have to copyright, you have to get that approved, you have to then post, you have to do certain discount codes. Like, there's so much that goes into influencing compared to freelancing. So if you have any skill that you can put to use, do it. Just seriously do it. And my biggest tip to people who want to go into freelancing is just get experience. So earlier this year I did a writing internship, I did a free modeling gig for a massive massive name. They turned out to be fucking assholes as well, but being able to say that I modeled for them has helped me. So gain like free experience. I'd say like for a month, gain as much experience as you can. Why is my hair not curly that side? As much experience as you can. There we go. Gain as much experience as you can in that month. Like do a week with a website, do a week with a magazine, do a week, whatever you can, whatever links to your abilities and your skills. Different experience, different outcomes, etc. And that will land you so many freelance jobs, because their expectations aren't as high as let's get someone in full time, let's pay them an annual salary that's like competitive. They don't need to do that. However, they don't realize that freelance pay is better. So you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's my advice, is just get loads of free experience in about a month. Don't go outside of that month, it's not worth it. After that month, you have the experience, you have it built up, you know what to do, you know what to say. From that point, go forward, only doing paid work. That's my advice when it comes to freelancing. There are so many people who want like freelance, random stuff, like, I mean, makeup artists is a big one, like stylists, prop designers, set designers, artists. There are so many things that they want, like there are so many things people want, and it truly like, it's good money for what it is. Film, if you want to go into film, oh my gosh, I was on a set for like an advert and got paid for that, and doing the bare fucking minimum as well, by the way. I've also managed to do freelance teaching, where I taught students, well, kids, about film, because I basically had just finished uni. I didn't have my degree yet, but I had graduated, like that was the end of my degree. And because of that, I was able to teach them film, and that paid amazing, and also was so lovely and worth it, and experience I'll treasure forever. So, and also something that I can say I've done and looks great. And also I think in both this and influencing, it's really important to network, to talk to people, to meet new people. It's very, very important. Another thing that I have done is it's similar to freelancing, but more so it's small jobs. So it's just like temporary jobs rather than freelancing. Very similar though. Like LinkedIn, I've gotten loads of jobs from that. The teaching job I got on that, and that was great. What I like about LinkedIn is that you can like look up really specific job titles and lots of stuff will come up. For me, it's harder to communicate with people on there compared to another app called The Dots, which is great for freelancers, and also great for people who want free experience. But LinkedIn is predominantly like paid work, but you can get both. Both are great in my opinion, and I've gotten work from both, so highly recommend. But yeah, temporary jobs like the teaching job that I had was great. I've just had loads of little jobs, and that's how I maintain an income. I'm someone who, I can't do a 9 to 5. I would physically combust. I've known this since I was like 5. I don't know how to describe it. I see myself working with people but not for people, and like below people. And funnily enough, although yes, I work below certain people in certain jobs, I am the manager or head of what I work in, and that's been great. Another thing I suggest, and this is something that I suggest only at very specific points, is I have a job with a magazine that is essentially full-time. However, at the moment it's commission-based. Now, I never ever recommend commission-based jobs, ever. I recently have been offered another job, and they wanted to initially do it commission-based, and I've said to them I don't want to do commission-based. And here's the reason why. The magazine that I work for, on commission base, get loads of clients, and pay really well. So commission is brilliant. And the commission rate is also very high. The percentage is a very high percentage of commission. A lot of the other company that I was just recently tried to reach out and tried to get me to do commission, wanted only like to give me like 10% of the commission. And then they were like, we want you to do it full time after that. And it's like, no, if you can offer me that in 2 months, you can offer that to me now. So it's not gonna happen. Unless that commission bit goes straight up and you can prove to me that you have constant clients, the money is good, 10% is a lot, or at least worthy of my time, fine. But if you can't prove that, then it has to be a job. Like, you have to pay me from the start rather than commission. So commission is great with certain specificities, like if it pays well, if they have consistent clients, if the commission rate is high. At those points, you can sit back and relax and be like, okay, this is great. And also, again, usually on commission, it's not strict hours. It is just ad hoc whenever you can. And that's great. That's perfect for me. Again, not just am I someone who can't really work below people, for lack of better phrasing, but I also can't do like certain hours. I currently pretty much work every single day of the week. Sunday is most likely the day that I will like work the least, but I still work throughout that entire week because I have all of these jobs, but I love it. 1, I love what I do. 2, the money is good. 3, it helps me express myself and it makes me feel so accomplished. And 4, because I have several small jobs, I'm never bored. And I hate boredom. I physically can't do boredom. I get irritated when I'm bored. So for me to be able to have all those things ticked off is amazing. And to wrap this up, I just want to say, like, when I was young, 1, I don't think these things were possible, but also 2, if someone told me that it was possible, I would have had a lot less fear growing up and like felt a little bit less lost, I think. And there's a lot of stuff that I do for free. I do my writing journalism, my music journalism blog for free, but I get the most amazing experience out of it, and I've met the most amazing people, and some of the artists I've interviewed have become lifelong friends. And also, it's for me. That doesn't go to anyone. That's for me. It comes under my name. No one works with me. I do it for fun. I do it for the experience. And having that there, and having done that ages ago when I was like 16, having that there has gotten me some of the jobs that I have now. So I think my biggest piece of advice in this whole thing is not go look for jobs. It's not that. My biggest piece of advice is figure out who you are. From a very young age, I knew who I was and I knew what I wanted. I knew what kind of schedule I could work on. I knew the needs that I had as someone chronically ill, as someone neurodivergent, as someone mentally ill, as someone on like a million medications. I knew what was capable, like what I was capable of doing, and that wasn't a 9 to 5. It just wasn't. So know your capabilities. If you are looking for something long term, then this probably isn't for you. Most of this video, at least some of it, but not the whole thing. And this is not going to be viable for everyone. Not everyone, this sounds vain as fuck, but not everyone can do 500 different creative things. Some people just don't have that ability, and you know, some people are just really strong in one sector. Like if you're strong in writing, that's great because you can freelance write for anyone. Like literally so many people need freelance writers. And also so many people need freelance graphic designers and artists. And although I can do basic graphic design, and I have done graphic design like jobs here and there, basic ones, some of them need like really experienced people, and like you could do like great, you could get paid so well. And so I think my biggest thing, is just know who you are, get yourself out there, like really make a name for yourself, start your own stuff first before going into anyone else's company. Have a solid foundation, because the solid foundation that is my social media, that is my website, that is my journalism, that is my degree, are the reason I'm here. It's not that I worked and like in retail and had like 6 years worth of great experience and the people there loved me and I was amazing and so now like people can rely on me. It was never that. It's never been that, will never be that. It was that I knew who I was. From the age of 16, I put so much hard work into setting a foundation for myself. Who am I? What do I want? What do I want to do for the rest of my life? And that can change, but as long as you set that foundation as early as you can, it doesn't have to be 16. If you're 25, it can be 25. Better late than never, right? But it's just setting that foundation is so important for everything else. So if you haven't set that foundation, do that. Make a website for yourself. Make social media specific to you and your work. And if you have done that, then I would say go out there, start finding freelance jobs. You know, I've seen like loads of posts where it's like how I earn such and such in a month, and they do like 5 different things. And I know that sounds like what I've just said, but realistically I only do 2 things technically: freelance work and I'm an influencer. Technically it's just 2 things. I work for several companies, yes, as well as myself, which is great, and it's a lot, but I don't dog walk, I don't babysit, I don't, you know, do 9 to 5 and then have a 5 to 9, you know. It's, and the thing is I don't want that to come off as privileged, because as in like I know how much privilege I have, I know how lucky I am to be able to do what I do. And don't get me wrong, I'm not making like thousands a day, nowhere near that, you know. And I'm sure some influencers are, like I know for a fact, like big influencers, I know for a fact that they are, but I'm making good enough money to support myself, to pay rent, to pay my bills, to live a little, to have those experiences like travel, and that's really all I need. I don't need to be making more. If the opportunity comes, then it comes, and that's great, and I'm grateful. But I think it's, again, getting those priorities straight. Do you just want money because you want money, or do you need to pay bills? Then if you can already pay bills, do you want the money to be able to have experiences like festivals and travel? What are you doing it for? Who are you doing it for? I think it's a lot deeper than, at least for us kind of people who are very creative and don't want to work a 9 to 5 and that kind of stuff. It's much deeper than the next person, I guess. You know, I don't know if that makes sense. I think I just rambled for 25 minutes and it just really didn't make any sense, but that's fine. But yeah, I hope this made sense, and thank you so much Design Space for sponsoring this video. Again, please go check out their website. They have a new social media marketing pack that is only $30. It is great. I wish years ago that someone had put that on my lap, because it's so helpful. I'm a social media manager. Something like this is really helpful for people who want to go into freelance, especially with social media management, or they want to be an influencer, or they have a product, like they want to start their own brand. This is amazing. So please look at all the info below in the description for Design Space. Thank you so much again for watching. I love you guys, and I'm just thinking about how in the next video I will be 21. Anyways, I love you guys so much. I will see you next time.